Hello, 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 everybody. How are you doing today? Hey, I wanted to share something with you, which I'm hoping is going to help you as much as it helped me. And I had this thought the other day. Have you ever read studies and it talks about your subconscious mind, and we're always hearing about how our subconscious mind is programmed a lot when we're under 5 or under 7, and all the things that are spoken over us and the environment and everything they're in, it really affects us and really, it really helps, determine who we're going to be and how we're going to act as adults, right? So I had this thought, I was like, okay, I know that when I was under 5, my parents were going through a difficult time. They were divorced, and I know there was lots of worry about money and stuff like that. So I thought, I'm screwed, what do I do? And I had this crazy thought the other day, is what if I could travel back in time in my imagination, right? In my imagination, and actually be with myself when I was little and actually speak over myself, right? And start reprogramming my subconscious mind as a kid. So I know it's a crazy thought. So I actually tried it this morning and I just couldn't believe how amazing it was. I want to show you a picture, right? So this is a picture right here of me when I was just, a little kid. I guess I was under 2, right? Back in England, sitting in a bucket in my granny's back garden, just as happy as a lark. Probably not knowing that people around me are going, what are we going to do about money, blah, blah, blah. But my little brain was soaking in. So today what I did, I got that picture out. I thought about that. And when I was meditating this morning, I actually thought to myself, I am traveling back in time. And I was picturing my grandmother's little garden in England. I could totally imagine it. I can see it right now in my mind's eye. So I was picturing it, and I thought of myself as an adult, as adult me right now, coming over and seeing this little infant sitting in a little bucket having fun in the backyard in the English sunshine. And I went over there and I got down and I squatted down. I was like, gosh, you're amazing. And you're going to be, you're such a great person. You're a good girl. You've started saying all these good things over myself that maybe I didn't hear, and speaking love and blessings and things over myself that many of us, we maybe didn't hear growing up. Not that we had bad parents, but maybe they didn't know how to express love, or they were going through difficult times. Now I'm an adult and I'm a parent, I'm like, gosh, we're all just kids growing up trying to do the best that we can many times, So whatever the case, I thought we can change the future now by being kind to the kid that we used to be, and start reprogramming that subconscious mind. I thought about different shows we watch, Back to the Future, when Marty goes back and he changes the whole future of his family through different events that happen. I thought, what if we could travel back in time and do that for us? I mean, guys, it was so amazing. I actually, in my imagination, at first I was just squatting down and looking into my eyes and just speaking good things over the little Susan, right, sitting in that bucket. And then in my imagination, I picked her up and was holding her, and it was just an incredible time. And I thought, and I'm turning here, so I've got my computer down here. And I remember years ago, I read this book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's a great book. It's called Becoming Supernatural. And he also talks about an experiment that backs up what I'm saying, because I'm totally believing that different things are going to shift in my mind, things in my mind that I want to change. And I have been feeling a shift anyway. It's like, did something happen? Did I disrupt my timeline by going back in my imagination? Is this just woo-woo stuff, or is there real science behind it that backs up this thought that came into my head, right? So anyway, I went and pulled this up on my computer because I thought, I know there's a study, and it was in the book. I still have the book. It's an amazing book, by the way. So I want to read a little quote. It says about some mind-bending stuff. So in this book, he shares about this Israeli researcher. His name was Dr. Leonard Libovici, and he wanted to test the power of prayer, right? So what he did And it wasn't just any prayer, it was prayer, blessings, good vibrations sent across time. Okay, this is getting really exciting, guys. It's sent across time. I want you to listen to this because this is amazing, right? So basically, he took the records of over 3,000 patients that had been hospitalized with sepsis, a life-threatening condition. And in the year 2000, what he did, I'll actually pull up how many people there were on the study. Let's have a look. It was a randomized, controlled, double-blind study, and it involved 3,393 patients that had been hospitalized, okay? They've been hospitalized between the years 1990 and 1996. So what this doctor did, he just randomly, double-blindedly had group A and group B. And he had one of those groups prayed for, right? One of those groups prayed for and one of those groups not. But the catch was they were prayed for in the year 2000 after this whole outbreak with sepsis. And it was incredible. It says the results, the people who had been prayed for retroactively, they had shorter hospital stays, shorter durations of fever, and lower mortality rates. And they're saying this defied logic. How could prayer affect people's outcome in the past? And basically in this, Joe Dispenza, he talks about the non-linear nature of time and consciousness, and the idea that the quantum field that isn't bound by time, and that intentional energy, when rooted in an elevated emotion of love and compassion, can influence reality in ways that we don't fully understand. And basically he ties it all together in quantum physics and how the quantum realm, past, present, and future, guys, they're all happening simultaneously. Okay, so when we think about time, we think about it's linear, right? That this is the past and we're traveling into the future, which is out there somewhere. But quantum physics is showing it's all not so much linear, it's like now, right? That it's happening all now. So like, because think about this, I'm making this video right now. It's, what's the time? It's 11:09 on Wednesday, July the 23rd. And I don't know when you're watching this, but wherever you're watching this, you're watching it in the now, okay? But to you, it's probably the past. So think about this. We can, according to this, start making a difference in our life today. By things that have happened in the past, we can go back and rewrite them right now. Mind-bending stuff. But what if we could use our imagination? It's almost like tying this with the law of assumption, like Neville Goddard talks about, to go back and start speaking good things over ourselves, to start reprogramming our subconscious mind, to take little kids like that who didn't realize that she was going through a horrific breakup, with her parents were going through a horrific breakup, and it was a very difficult time, and there was not a lot of money, and things were being spoken around and whole energetically. She didn't understand it was going in. What if you could do that for yourself? What if you could go back and you could start speaking good things over yourself? Would it suddenly start showing up from this point onward, right? From this point onward, you start seeing a difference because you literally, in your imagination, you went back and started to reprogram your subconscious mind. Mind-bending stuff, I know, but if you want to look into it more, I do recommend you read the book, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, because he does really talk all about the science in it and quantum physics and what used to seem like also mystical, what the mystics knew from years ago, from like centuries ago, from times past. Modern science is catching up about the nature of reality and time and how really it's all about consciousness. So how does this boil down to helping you? I want you to start really seeing that kid that you once were and thinking about, like Jesus's words, unless you become like a little child, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. When we go back and we start really loving us, all parts of us, the little kid self, and one day we're going to be old people, right? And thinking, I want to use my imagination to bring about good change, to reprogram. You might have had horrible things spoken over you. You might have had awful things spoken over you. Things maybe you didn't understand, or maybe not that, maybe just energetically around you, there were people with dealing with difficult situations that you didn't know about as a kid, and just their vibration, the energy that they were putting off, did stuff, got into you, and you didn't even know about it. So start practicing this amazing power of prayer, or whatever you want to call it, positive intention, that can travel across time to change you and to help you have a better life. Okay, to help, because when I make these videos, I'm making them for things that I'm going through, and I think I want to share them, and hopefully they were going to encourage you, because we're all in this together, right? We really are. I believe there's only one consciousness, and what you give out, how you treat other people, that is going to come back to you. And it's so important to me just to walk in love, to try and walk in love and shed as much love into this world as we can, because we all need it, right? So I hope that encourages you today. I'd love to have any feedback, some questions. What do you think about, what do you think about, have you read Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe? What do you think about his studies? Have you looked into that? And I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. And, I have been starting to send out just good thoughts, good vibrations every morning for my subscribers. I think about you. I just imagine it going out and just touching everybody. So I hope that blesses you today. Thanks so much, guys. Until next time, I just want to remind you that the power to transform your life, it's already within you. Bye for now.